so now we're gonna move on to something that you guys care about, which is exams and assessments. How does a week look like in phase 1? Way too many Singaporeans and Hong Kong people. Welcome guys to another video. Today we have Harry again.
Hello everyone.
Do you remember how we did the trip in Melbourne? How's it feel to sleep with me? We did not have geeks, so
That was interesting.
that was a good trip, right? Today we are going to be talking about med, and we're just gonna be having a chill chat. So let me get my coffee ready. So we're gonna be breaking down the structure of medicine in UNSW. So broadly speaking, there's 6 years in total, and it's broken down into 3 different phases. The first 2 years is phase 1, and today we're gonna be focusing on that. And in first and second year, each year you have 4 terms. 4 terms have 4 different courses, and each courses cover different body parts of the system. So for example, we have cardio, you have neuro, you have musculoskeletal, those kind of stuff. And in total, there's 8 of them.
I mean, there's also embryology, but
Baba Boo. Of course, bro.
Wow. It's confusing.
I have some friends who's doing first year right now, and they're like they just want to get this over with, and they're like,
understandable.
They're like,
I just want to pass, bro.
all right. So the content of the courses, it is basically split into lectures, pracs, and SGs.
Yep.
SGs are basically scenario groups. I actually don't know how much we can talk about this. I feel like we're gonna get in trouble, but anyway. So scenario groups are basically tutorials where you're split into like 12 people, and then you just like there's gonna be a teacher just like going through scenarios.
How long have you been sitting on this information?
Essentially,
I think
in
we're
the name.
going into too much details.
It's just a tutorial. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Basically.
Doesn't matter. You'll come in and you'll see later. So you have SG pracs including microbiology pracs, and nat pracs. Doesn't really matter. QMPs are basically stats.
No one gives a shit about those.
Whoa.
I don't give a anyway. And then you have lectures, which is like usually online, but they might have changed it over the past years. Okay, so now we also have clinical placements, and these are once every 2 weeks. And you are supposed to go to the allocated hospital that you're meant to go, and that you're gonna be shadowing a doctor by like talking to the patient or whatever, taking history, and also doing physical examination. Very chill for the first 2 years. How does a week look like in phase 1? How about that? So each term we have 8 weeks. For the first few weeks, I think my week just looks like maybe there's 2 days gonna be quite busy, because there's going to be SGs. And so morning lectures, and then you're going to have SGs and maybe a little prac at the end. So you might go from 9 till 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But usually there's 1 day, which is like extremely free. Like a 2 online lecture, and then you're done for the day. And then that's usually, for me it was Friday. I don't know about you.
I think it'll be Friday as well.
Yeah.
It's either that or it's just like 1.5 prac, and then that's it for the day.
Yeah.
When I say half prac, that means like an hour tutorial thing.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to something that you guys care about, which is exams and assessments. So let's start with assessment first. So we have 2 things, right? We have
Yes.
IAs, which is individual assignments, and also we have group projects. And
IA is just written assignment.
they're both written.
Group project, you have to do a report, but it's also there's presentation as well, like most of the group project anyways.
Yeah. So there's like you have to do referencing. They do want you to do like APA 7. No one cares about those. You come in and you'll see. But IAs is individually, and then group projects you have to do it with a group. And if you end up with a good group, then yippee! But if you're in a bad group, then you're gonna be, kind of, good luck with that term.
But make sure you are the good teammate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, actually for the past 2 years, I don't think I have a really bad team.
I don't think I have.
Yeah. So maybe we're just good teammates in general.
It might be slightly biased, but I think it should be fine.
Yeah, who cares? Okay, exams. At the end of each term, we have an end of course exam. and it's pass fail, so it doesn't really. I don't think it really matters that much for marks, unless you want to do honors in your 4th year, which is basically another title, but you'll worry about that later. What's your view on EOCs?
I think they should. It's definitely something that they should have. Just test our knowledge. It's like it might be a bit stressful for people, but I think that's something that's very useful to push you to learn. Actually, I miss them.
Bitches, you're drunk. You missed them.
Face.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I would say so. As well, yeah.
The hell's the matter with you?
We're kind of lunatics. We want exams, guys. We want bring back exams. Nah, but for real though, I think EOCs are not as scary as I think it
Definitely
is.
not as
yeah,
scary.
because there's a lot of resources from MedSoc. MedSoc actually gives a lot of tutorials on how to excel in these exams. And you find out,
there's notes.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like common
Huh?
notes, or like not common notes, call it good. Like
Common notes.
it's like notes that have been passed down by generation and generation. Has been like, oh god, there are fucking people that I know. Shit. Sorry, there's people passing by, and I know those people, so it's just kind of weird.
Baba Boo.
Mitchell, by the way. Fuck
Baba
you.
Boo.
Anyway, at the end of year 2, you have a lot of exams. We have your year 2 term 4 exam, EOCs, and also you have the end of phase exam. So you're gonna have, it's all MCQs, so it's all right. And then you also have practical examination, and then also you have OSCE, which is basically a physical examination where
History plus physical
yes.
examination.
So there's going to be a few stations that you go through, and each station it includes a history. So you have to take history from a patient, and also you have to do a physical examination. And once you pass all that, then you're fine. And then you can now move on to phase 2, which is where we're at right now, year 3.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah, okay. Like, if you go to lectures and do your work properly and don't cram everything, then you'll be fine. I have friends who actually crams, and then they basically did absolutely nothing for like the whole entire 8 weeks, and then somehow they pass. So maybe they're just smart, maybe they're just fucking smart at, and somehow they got like same marks as me, and then I feel like a fucking idiot, like what am I doing here? Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, I think people want to know like the pass fail rate of courses as well. So about the pass fail rate, I think it depends on each term, right?
Definitely.
I've heard people failing the first term as well. But usually the first term is very chill. It's supposed to be chill, right? It's as long as you pass, it doesn't matter how high marks you get, because at the end it doesn't count towards your WAM.
Yeah.
WAM is weighted average mark, which is like at the end of your medicine, like
It's like your GPA.
it's your GPA. There you go. Fuck. But yeah, like for example, terms like embryology, I think that term is pretty hard in general. So
Embryology hits hard.
the fail rate is like pretty high, right? I would say like maybe,
Idea.
I actually don't know. Yeah, sorry about that, but
I think it's better if we don't put out like fake news out there.
Oh, yeah.
That so many people fail.
just pass your fucking
pass.
course. Yeah, and it's not that hard, guys.
No, I think we need to be less disencouraging. Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's not that hard. Like, come
it's,
on, guys.
you have a supplementary exam, and that
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
most people will pass.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah,
if you failed a course, you're gonna have a supplementary exam for you to sit, and if you pass that, you're a-okay, right? But I've heard that in 1 year you cannot fail 2 courses.
I think so. Yeah.
So if you failed 2 courses, then you have to repeat the year.
Idea is that the college wants you to help you to pass. Like they will do whatever they can offer you to help with your learning.
Definitely.
That's the case.
Yeah. All right. So that is the big chunk of examination and assessment. How about let's talk about the cohort, guys. Let's talk about the lifestyle in UNSW in med. You start first. How about that? Well, how do you like the people in med?
I think most of the people I have met in the cohort are just very chill. Just in general, very chill and easy to get along with. And it's actually the atmosphere for study is great in UNSW, in a sense that you'll be able to form a study group whenever, and then people are willing to share their notes with each other, and then there's no sabotaging going around or anything. It's not toxic at all.
I agree with that.
So
Yeah,
that's something I really appreciate.
From my experience, I think we're both not really active in a sense where we go to like
Definitely.
do medical society or whatever. We don't do that shit, but like if you're into those, it's so good, right? You go to like road trips, partying, like do all those fun stuff with your friends, and I think a lot of med people are just nice in general. As long as you're if you initiate, they're more than happy to help you and talk with you about like med stuff or life in general. So I don't know, it's just so far right now I have a lot of good friends in medicine. Not a lot because I'm still a lonely little bitch, but but you know
I
what?
love how you have to say that. Okay.
So yeah.
Also, that doesn't just apply to our year. It also applies to the higher years as well.
But one thing I have to say though, there's way too many Singaporeans and Hong Kong people, including myself. Okay, like
What is this?
they're-
Racially profiling?
have you seen all of the Singaporeans? I
You
have
have
3
a-
friends. I don't know how their accent works, but like no, but they're absolutely nice. They're extremely try hard. I have to give them that. They're extremely try hard. They're hard sweats. Like they're the high achiever essentially, and then
But that's a good quality though.
yeah. And then another thing is there's basically all Asians. There are like no Caucasians. Well, a few.
What? That's an overstatement.
Well, that's in our year. In our year, there's like 80% Asian, like Chinese, Vietnamese, Koreans, and then there's like a small percentage of white people.
Okay, somewhat.
Yeah. No, but I think I've heard from the first years, it's a little balanced now. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's just an Asian culture thing to do med, in general. About clinical placement, yes, hospitals. Do you have a preference on which hospital that you go to?
Oh, I think they're all great. Like honestly, like the three that's closer to the campus, the St. George, Vinny's, and Prince of Wales, they're all great. There's enough patient going there, so you will always have a thing to do.
Yeah.
Their teaching staff are always really nice to you, and they will offer you a lot of opportunity. But I guess like, I think the most important thing to consider is like how far you live away from this, like travel time.
Yes. This becomes more relevant when you're third year.
Yes.
Because you're gonna have to go to hospital like 3 days a week. But for phase 1 people, you only have to go there every
2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. So that's like even if you. So for me, I got Liverpool, which the travel like
a bit
by
too far.
yeah by public transport that's like a 1 hour and like 40 minutes. 2 and then back that's like nearly 3 hours, right? So it's really difficult because
Hell no, man. What?
you go there and you do 2 hours of like teaching and then you come back. So it's like the travel time is more than the fucking teaching time. So sometimes it really pisses me off. But the teaching in Liverpool, I have to say, it's really good as well. And yeah, I think in general all the hospitals. Well, I can only speak for Prince of Wales and Liverpool.
I
think
can
they're
speak for Vinny's and Prince of Wales. I think
yeah.
out of those three, all have great teaching quality, like
Yeah.
hands down.
If you guys have any questions that you guys want to ask, feel free to comment down below, and we'll try and answer your questions. If not, then what are you doing here? Click
Go
on another,
study.
click on another video, bro. Like, or just study. If you want to go to med, it's hard, bro. It's really hard. But once you get through that, it's like you have support and everything. So
Exactly.
all good. Hope I can see you guys in UNSW soon, but we'll see.
See you, everyone.
Bye bye.
You're allowed to say that?
I'm pretty sure they know. And also, I don't think people's gonna watch this anyway, so fingers crossed.